Okay, let's talk about grant applications. I know, they can feel like this huge, daunting task. But listen, if you're eyeing the Matthew 25 grant, you are in the perfect spot. We're going to break this whole thing down step by step so you can go from feeling overwhelmed to feeling totally confident about your application. So let's just dive right in.
So the very first thing you got to know is that this grant, it's different. It's truly different by design. And what's so cool about this quote is it tells you the why behind it. The committee intentionally made changes, like those tight word counts, not to make your life harder, but actually to make it easier. It's all about making it more accessible for grassroots organizations, for people like you. They really want to honor your time and hear your amazing vision, not make you write some crazy long essay.
So, how do you make your application stand out? I mean, that's the million-dollar question, right? And that is exactly what this is all about. We're going to walk through the most important sections, point out what the review committee is really looking for, and basically give you all the tools you need to make your project shine.
Okay, so before you even think about writing a single word, it is super important to get the big picture here. This isn't just about getting a check. It's about a partnership, right? It's about joining a larger mission. Your application is your chance to show exactly how your amazing work fits in, how it helps advance racial justice, dismantle systemic poverty, and build up our community for the long haul. So here's what it all boils down to. They're looking for projects with real long-term impact. We're talking about change that lasts, not just a one-off event. Think about it like this. They're not just looking to fund, say, a one-time ride to the polls. What would really get them excited is a project that makes that polling place permanently accessible for the entire community for years to come. That's the story you need to tell. The story of sustainable, systemic change. Okay, first things first. Let's get into the nitty-gritty logistics. These are the absolute must-knows, the things you have to check off before you even start writing. Getting this stuff right up front is key. All right, so who can actually apply? The first thing to check is your location. This grant serves a very specific geographic area. So, if your organization does its work in all of Monroe County, you're good to go. If you're in parts of Genesee, Livingston, Orleans, or Wyoming counties, you'll just need to double-check that you're within the Presbytery's boundaries. Seriously, make sure you're eligible before you go any further. Okay, get your calendar out because these dates are important. The application itself drops on April 15th, 2026. But the big one, the one you need to circle in red, is June 15th. That's your final deadline, no exceptions. Then you'll hear back about funding by August 1st. And see that last date, April 30th, 2027? That's when the final report is due. And trust me, we're going to talk a little later about why you should already be thinking about that report right now. All right, now that we've got the logistics out of the way, let's get to the really good stuff. The heart of your application, the narrative. This is where you get to tell your story. It's your chance to share the why behind what you do, the passion that drives your work. Listen, if you pour your energy into any single part of this application, make it this one. The use of grant funds section is, without a doubt, the most important. This is where you connect all the dots for the reviewers. You're going to tell them exactly what you plan to do, why it's so incredibly important, and how it ties directly into that big Matthew 25 mission. And here's the catch. You have to do all of that in just 175 to 225 words. I know, that is tight. But remember what we said at the beginning? It's intentional. That short word count forces you to be crystal clear. It means every single word has to count. This isn't about writing beautiful, flowery language. It's about being powerful and direct. So how do you pull that off? Just follow these 3 simple steps. Step 1, get specific. Don't just say program costs, tell them exactly what the money is for. Things like staff time, materials for a workshop, or stipends for participants. Step 2, define the need. What's the problem you're trying to solve? And finally, step 3, connect it to the mission. Draw a straight line from your activities to how they help dismantle structural racism or eradicate systemic poverty. Make that connection impossible to miss. Okay, so you've nailed your narrative. Now, let's talk about the other pieces you'll need, the things that back up your story. This is where you give them the hard details that show you've really thought this through and that you're ready to go. First up, the budget. And don't worry, this doesn't need to be some crazy complicated spreadsheet. A simple table or even a bulleted list works just fine. The key is to break down your expenses clearly. And here's something really important the committee wants you to know. Ask for the amount you actually need. Don't sell yourself short. Be confident and ask for the funding that will truly make your project a success. Next is the statement of support.
Think of this as like your 5-star review. It's your social proof. And you don't want this from a board member. Nope. The most powerful statements come from someone who has actually benefited from your work. A program participant, a community partner, someone like that. Hearing their voice in their own words can make your application come alive in a way that nothing else can. Okay, now for my favorite part. I've got a pro tip for you that could be a total game changer for your application. You remember that final report that's due way out in 2027? Well, if you start thinking about it right now, you can actually make your application today so much stronger. And it all comes down to this one question. How are you going to measure your impact? See, it's easy to say we're going to host a workshop, but what does success actually look like? How will you know if you've made a difference? Thinking about that now sharpens your entire project and gives the committee a really clear, measurable goal they can get behind. And this slide is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. A good goal is saying, we will host financial literacy workshops. Okay, that's an activity. But a better goal, one you can actually report on, is saying 75% of our workshop attendees will create a personal budget. See the difference? One is what you do, the other is the result of what you do. That's what shows the committee you're serious about making a real, tangible impact. And hey, don't forget that data isn't just about numbers. The human stories are just as important. Your final report is going to be so much more powerful if you have pictures, testimonials, and personal stories. So make a plan to start collecting those from day one. I'm serious. Go make a folder on your computer for them right after this. Come 2027, you'll be so happy you did.
When you boil it all down, this grant is really an invitation. It's an invitation to be part of a bigger mission, to work together for a more just community for everyone. Your project, your vision, it's a really important piece of that whole puzzle. Remember, you are the expert here. You know your community. You have the vision for what's possible. This application isn't a test or a hurdle. It's a bridge. It's designed to connect your incredible vision with the resources to make it happen. You already have everything you need to tell your story. So go do it with confidence. You've totally got this.